Hi, I'm Lisa Smith. Welcome back to BeAuditSecure. In this series, we're discussing the things employers and small businesses need to do in order to get ready to survive that audit, inspection, investigation, or litigation. So here we go. The next point on the list is good, solid communication. What? That doesn't sound very technical. I thought we were talking about technical audit stuff. Well, we are. And previously we've discussed good policies and procedures and standard operating procedures that you need for your organization. Those are definitely effective tools for communication. But how about the rest of the communication in your organization? How effective is it really? Are your listeners good listeners? Do they really hear the needs of the workers? Or do we kind of just sort of fly by thinking we know what everybody's going to say next and preparing when really we're so ill prepared to find out what the conversation was really all about? It can be quite difficult tackling communication because we all have a different communication style. However, I will tell you that there is one foundational piece of communication that not everyone employs, but if you do, you will find that your organization is much more successful. And that foundational piece of communication is something that improvisers in the professional comedy and theater world have used for years. And it's called the yes and. So, what is the yes and? Well, the yes and is listening to what someone says, their ideas, their thoughts, their feelings intently and seriously. And saying in your mind, if not even verbally, yes. And what you say next will either move the conversation forward or put a big old roadblock behind it. But when you use the thought and in your mind, it tends to make us think in a more positive direction, like we're adding to the conversation. We're moving the conversation along. Now, yes and does not mean for a minute that you just agreed with what the person says. But what it does give you is the opportunity to let that person know that you heard them. They feel validated. You feel good because you're a validating good communicator, and your conversation moves ahead. Maybe you're trying to decide on a new policy and procedure in your organization. Someone throws out an idea to have, paid jury duty, but that would be great, except that it's really not budget conscious for your organization. So you say yes, and I like that idea because it would be really great for non-exempt employees who have to be out for several days and go without pay due to jury duty. Thinking it through, however, I'm going to add to that comment and say that after looking over the budgeting, I'm not sure we can do jury duty with pay for the entire time an employee is out. Maybe we could do it for the first day that they're out and then leave it optional after that if they want to use paid time off from their bank. See, that's a yes and. The opposite of yes and is what more commonly will happen in many organizations. And that is, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, but it will never work here. We will never get that approved through budget. So that's it. We're not even going to try. See, that's the yeah, but. It puts a roadblock in front of us. We cannot move forward. So think about it. Yes and may turn out to be a no in the end, but it's not presuming that it's a no straight away without actually hearing the person out. Maybe hearing the rest of the story, something else that they had in mind that we're not aware of yet. Yes and. If we become a lot of yes anders in an organization, we will be much happier and much more productive. Yeah, but, or yeah, but, or no, stops us in our tracks. And when it comes to employment law compliance, regulation by the government in various areas that we must comply with, it's always good to stop, take a beat, think it through, and fully agree that we have vetted this process completely. That way, when the auditor, inspector, investigator, or litigator comes in and asks, why do you do the things the way you do them and how do you do them? Everyone in the organization understands because they have felt heard, they have been communicated with well on all fronts, and our folks are ready to say, yes, and I will be happy to tell you how that works here. Instead of, yeah, I'd love to tell you, but I'm not really sure myself because nobody here is a good communicator. So, communication. It is a key to surviving through an audit, inspection, investigation, or litigation. Think about that and say, yes, I will try to implement that in my organization. Yes, and. Until next time, I'm Lisa Smith. Be Audit Secure.